We're talking about your first car this morning, and Adam, why don't you set this up?
All right, so I got an email from Tom Turner. He is with Turner Automotive Corvettes in Victor, and I'll just read the message that he sent me, and then the picture will come up while I read it. He talks about this Corvette, okay? This car has sort of a unique history with me because I haven't seen this car since 1985 when I was 15 years old. He's now 44. He says, when my father, Bill Turner, who sadly passed away in February of 2013, he said he and his dad rode in that car on and off for 2 days, spending the time eating ice cream, driving around the Adirondacks, and just talking about everything a 15-year-old boy and his father could talk about. So, as you can imagine, this news was pretty incredible. This many years later, the guy who bought the car contacted him and said, you know, I'm getting older. I'm not really interested in having the car anymore. Would you guys be interested in buying it back? And so he did. A 1963 Corvette. It's called like a split window, I think. A split window coupe.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be able to get that picture. There he is there.
There it is.
Sitting right next to it. And it's back on the lot, and he's just thrilled to have it back next to him. A lot of fond memories within those 2 days. So it got us thinking back to our first car. So Doug, I'm curious. We haven't talked about this in the lead up to this. What was your first car?
What are you implying, that there weren't automobiles when I was...
No. Not whether you had a car.
I know, the Flintstones, they had their little
The first car that
thing,
was
right?
truly mine, I did not get a car till my almost done with college.
Okay.
Back in the day, I had to walk back and forth to Syracuse University down the thruway. No, I took the Greyhound bus for lunch, but when I finally, my father went halvesies with me on what my wife calls the ugliest vehicle ever. It was a brown Honda Civic with an orange and yellow stripe, kind of, right, just a pinstriping.
Wait, what?
A brown Honda Civic hatchback.
Right.
But here's the funny story about this car.
Okay.
Wait, orange and yellow?
Orange, and it was, she called it the Cleveland Browns car, so it was just brown, with it, but just a little pinstripe, not a big wide stripe, but it was it was ugly. It was an automatic or a manual, so I liked that. It was had a lot of pep, and it was a good.
That had to be tough in Syracuse.
I sold it to my brother-in-law, my wife's littlest brother. He took it out to Michigan State with him, drove it all through college, and then when we were out there for his wedding, we saw the car because it had the same sticker on it, a Grateful Dead sticker that he'd had on it. And so that car, when I got rid of it, it had, I think, 186,000 miles on it.
Oh.
Wow, you done good.
So anyway, that's my car story.
I like it.
Yeah.
Jen, what was your first?
I loved my first car. I almost wish I could go back and this is the first car I bought. You know, I had the one that I'd borrowed from my parents. It was terrible. Anyway, it was a Nissan Pathfinder, so it was an SUV, but it was a stick. It was a stick, so it was like the best of both worlds. Because I like driving a stick, but I was in Syracuse as well, and then my first job, and then here too. I actually sold it in town, and every once in a while, or probably not anymore, because I've been here a while now, but I would see it drive around town. But I loved it.
No, Adam had an AMC Pacer.
Yeah, right. No. I had Big Red. It was a Big Red Volvo station wagon in Syracuse, and it actually got hit by a drunk driver while it was parked, and in order to get it back home, to get it salvaged, I actually had to go through the broken back window with the gas and put it through the gas tank was actually like in the car. It was probably very unsafe when I did.
I wouldn't recommend that.
But I got it home, and they basically said, you know, you may want to consider.
We're all out of time. We wanted to talk about Marty's Maserati, which was his first car. But you know what? This is a good Facebook conversation. We'll post this on Facebook and then weigh in. Let us know what you think.
I like that. We'll be right back.